The man who walked down the bustling street that morning didn't look like someone the world would stop for. His oversized jacket, threadbare jeans, and worn-out boots made him blend into the background of the city's forgotten souls. A fake, scraggly beard covered most of his face, while a beanie tugged low over his forehead obscured his sharp features. But behind that disguise was none other than Elon Musk. This wasn't a publicity stunt, nor was it a mere act of curiosity. It was an experiment, a test to see how the world treated those who didn't carry power in their stride or wealth in their pockets. He wanted to know, when stripped of his status, how people would react to him. Ahead of him, Brewhaven Coffee Shop came into view. It wasn't a high-end cafe filled with the scent of exclusivity. It was a humble, well-loved establishment known more for its cozy atmosphere than its menu. But today, it was the perfect setting for his little social experiment. As he approached the entrance, the first obstacle presented itself: a burly security guard named Rick. One look at Elon's disheveled state, and Rick's expression hardened. "Hey, you can't just hang out here, buddy," he said, stepping in front of the door. Elon met his eyes without flinching. "I'm here to buy a coffee." He reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out a crumpled wad of cash. Rick eyed him with skepticism, as though the very idea of him affording a simple cappuccino was preposterous. "You think this is the place for you?" "I'm just here for a drink," Elon repeated, his voice firm yet calm. For a moment, Rick hesitated. Then, with a reluctant huff, he stepped aside, muttering something under his breath. Elon walked in, unbothered, feeling the weight of curious and wary glances settling on him. Inside, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee filled the air, blending with quiet conversations and the soft hum of the espresso machine. He approached the counter, where two employees stood: a bright-eyed young man named Ethan and a woman named Cindy, who looked as though she'd rather be anywhere else. "Good morning. What can I get for you?" Ethan greeted him with a genuine smile. Before Elon could respond, Cindy let out a scoff, rolling her eyes. "You gotta be kidding me," she muttered under her breath. Elon glanced at her but said nothing. He simply ordered his cappuccino. Ethan, still smiling, nodded and began preparing the drink, while Cindy barely concealed her disdain. Elon observed them closely. Ethan radiated warmth, treating him no differently than any other customer. Cindy, on the other hand, made it painfully clear she thought he didn't belong. Her sighs were exaggerated, her patience thin, her judgment palpable. As he received his cappuccino, Elon gave Ethan a small nod of appreciation before making his way to a corner table by the window. He sat there for nearly an hour, sipping his coffee and observing. Ethan's kindness wasn't reserved just for him. He treated every customer with the same respect, whether they were dressed in suits or simple clothes. Cindy, however, carried her contempt like a badge of honor, snapping at customers who asked too many questions, barely acknowledging those she deemed unworthy of her time. Elon had seen enough. When he finally stood and walked back to the counter, Ethan looked up, surprised. "Hey, can I help you with something?" Elon smiled. "You're a good man, Ethan." "A kind one." Ethan blinked in surprise. Thank you, sir." Elon then turned his gaze toward Cindy. She didn't bother looking up. "You're different, Ethan," Elon continued. "You treat people with respect, no matter who they are." Cindy finally snapped her attention to them, frowning. "What's this all about?" she scoffed. Elon reached into his pocket and pulled out a sleek business card, placing it on the counter. Ethan hesitated before picking it up, his eyes widening as he read the name. "Wait, Elon Musk?" His voice trembled with disbelief. Elon nodded. "That's me." Cindy's mouth fell open slightly, her earlier arrogance wavering. "I've been watching you, Ethan," Elon continued, "and I think you deserve more than just this job. Call that number tomorrow." Ethan's hands shook as he clutched the card. Cindy, however, scoffed again, though there was a flicker of unease in her eyes. "Why would he want to help you?" she spat. Elon looked at her with a measured expression. "Kindness is rare these days, Cindy. Maybe you should try it sometime." Ethan could barely process what was happening as Elon turned and walked out of the cafe, leaving behind nothing but stunned silence. The next day, with his heart pounding, Ethan dialed the number. A voice on the other end confirmed an appointment for an interview. Tesla headquarters. When he arrived, he felt out of place among the sleek suits and polished shoes. But as the interview began, he spoke passionately about his degree in automotive engineering, about his dreams, and how he had been working at the cafe to support his family. 2 days later, his phone rang. Ethan, the voice on the other end, said, one he now recognized well. "I've got good news. You're hired. Welcome to Tesla." Tears welled in Ethan's eyes as he realized what had just happened. The boy who once served coffee at a small shop now had a future he had never dared to dream of. He rushed home to tell his parents, his mother crying tears of joy, his father a retired mechanic beaming with pride. With his new job, Ethan was able to move his family to a better neighborhood. Life had changed forever, all because one man saw him not as a barista, not as just another face in the crowd, but as someone who deserved a chance. And Cindy. Her reputation caught up with her. She was eventually transferred to another branch, her rude behavior costing her both respect and opportunity. As for Ethan, he never forgot that day at Breuven coffee shop, and every time he passed by he smiled, remembering how one small act of kindness had rewritten his destiny.